Hi there, it's Rebecca. Today I want to talk about how to find solutions. If you're a five-dimensional person, and many of us are now because we're living in a time where this great awakening is happening, the big shift. Many people are being born multidimensional beings. We see children that have amazing abilities and powers and psychic abilities, and they just know things that they weren't supposed to know yet because maybe they haven't even taken a look at it or studied it yet in their life. But they innately know because they tap into their higher self. The higher self has all the solutions. It's connected to the divine. And at that level of consciousness, we are all connected. That's why unity is reality, separation from the divine and separation from each other is just a misunderstanding that we have with ourselves. Once we understand that we are connected, we can solve problems. And when you're at that level of consciousness, I don't care what you call it. Christians call it the Christ. It's called the Atman. It's called the Buddha consciousness. It's got many, many names. Allah. Well, when you find that level of consciousness, whatever you want to call it, because words are really irrelevant. It's a feeling. It's an energy. It's a level of consciousness that opens up to you and discloses to you things that before were hidden. And you can see solutions. You know what Einstein said? You can't solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that you created it at. I'll tell you, when I retired years ago from my flying career, where I used to jet off on the big jets every week and go to places like Argentina, London, Tokyo, you name it, I would fly all over the world with these fascinating crew members and pilots and passengers, and we had a blast. I mean, it was always uplifting, to say the least. Not only were we cruising along at altitude, but it was just emotionally very uplifting too, to get a change of scenery and culture. You know, you go to work, you open the door at the end of the day, and you're in a whole different country, continent, culture that you get to experience for X number of hours. And that could be very, very interesting because it would shift my consciousness naturally and make me more open-minded to possibilities. And then after I landed, I found that every time I would say something to certain people in my group of friends and family, they would kind of like shove it back down my throat because I seemed to be going against their belief systems. I called a spiritual healer and asked him why that was happening. And he said, it's because you don't live at the same level of consciousness. The light bulb went on. You know, we don't realize what level of consciousness we're living at because we're just swimming around doing our thing. And until we have to either take a stand, prove something, demonstrate something, or we have a big aha moment, we just take it for granted that we're thinking, well, maybe we're just being brainwashed and programmed and we don't even know it. I mean, think about all the things that influence humans on a daily basis that they just absorb and take in and go, okay, I'll go along with it. You don't have to do that. I'm not telling you it's easy to go against the grain if you really feel compelled to do it, because you're going to get resistance from other humans. People are going to tell you you don't fit in. One of my favorite words was a gadfly. I had a college professor, Professor Radcliffe, and he was talking about Jesus one day. He was a history professor. He said he was a gadfly. And I've liked that word ever since. It's kind of a troublemaker. It goes against the grain. You know, people basically find it very painful to wake up and look at the truth. But once you know the truth, it will set you free. It's a very good expression. Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And maybe we need to take a look at what's going on, because there's a mass consciousness right now that's kind of like driving everyone over the edge into a state of extreme fear. And I'd like to see it start turning around, because if we keep going in the same direction, it's not going to be pretty. we don't really need to freak ourselves out while we're living on this planet, this beautiful planet, in this incredible country. I mean, I live in the United States, where we should be happy, free. That's our battle cry. It's been that ever since its inception. And I think it's time for us to try to wake up and free ourselves from fear. Once you get rid of fear, you're free.